Well, hey everybody, how about that for a backdrop? That's the church in the village of Orquebus, France, Orquebaux. I'm here for about 3 weeks in France doing some speaking and talking about my book and working on book number 2. So today I want to talk to you about this next video and this topic of feeding your people to the wolves. What kind of title is that? No, probably not a good title from a guy who invests in people and is a very people-centric leader. Well, what I'm talking about with this title is to help your people grow, and sometimes you got to feed them to the wolves. Let me describe for you what I mean by that. So in my Army career, I held several positions. One was a logistics officer of a battalion of about 700 soldiers. Another one was a personnel officer in that same organization. And in Afghanistan, I helped run an international airport and prepare a base for transition. All things that were not necessarily in my college degree or my Army training, specific to my job as an infantry officer, but things that I had to do. Now, I had to learn the hard way in those positions. I had to be a self-starter, self-learner, and figure those jobs out as I went. It would have been nice to have a leader on top of me, or maybe a little better investment in training me and preparing me for those positions. But in each one of those, I eventually succeeded and grew because of that experience. So let me give you a few points here on how you go about trying to grow your people, or as I say, feed them to the wolves and really put them out there in spaces where they can really challenge themselves and grow as people. First thing is you got to know them. I talk about this a lot in my book. Knowing them far beyond their resume and their qualifications. You know, you wouldn't want to push somebody into the unknown to foster their growth in the early days of them being in an organization. You want to know them. You want to know their strengths and weaknesses. Are they a fast learner? Does it take them more time? Are they emotional? Things like that that really define them as a person, which will help you know if they can handle that deep end of the pool that you're about to push them into. So getting to know them, or your subordinate leaders getting to know that person before you really challenge them and help them grow. Be a multiplier. There's a really great book out. It's almost as good as mine. It's Multipliers by Liz Wiseman. Fantastic book, which talks about how leaders can be multipliers of their people, meaning expand the capability of their own people, or be diminishers just by how they lead, squash the ability and the potential inside of people. Multipliers by Liz Wiseman, fantastic book. But be a multiplier. Everybody, including myself, has capability that exceeds who they are. So my capability right here it is. It's really up here. And I haven't been challenged. There's a space there, and every single person has that, I promise you. The Army did a great job with me, making me and forcing me to be all I can be, as the old adage went, and really pulled a lot of my potential that was sitting dormant inside of me and helped me grow as a person and a leader. Be a multiplier, really important. Next thing, train, coach, educate, make an investment. Like I talk about in the book, investing in people. Make an investment in somebody before you push them out there and challenge them with a new task. A new effort. Do some training. Maybe it's somebody that's already done what they're about to do. Spend an afternoon with them, or an hour, or a week. Maybe it's a college course or something you might want to invest into to help this person succeed as you push them into these new spaces. Things like that. Or coaching. You push them out there with a little bit of guidance, and they go off and do what they do, and they come back to you daily and talk about what they've done. There's risk associated with this, okay? Maybe that's your next step, is to really look at what the risk is associated with it. So you wouldn't want a brand new person out dealing with something, let's say in customer service or marketing, that could have catastrophic effects. Maybe you start with somebody new, you give them a task where, isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? Man, that makes my video. So you give them a task where if they fail, it doesn't mean catastrophic failure to your organization. Analyze risk and see what risk is there. And then lastly, push them into the deep end of the pool, feed them to the wolves, get them out there. It's never going to be a perfect scenario for you where you've got perfect training and conditions are perfect, but get them out there and force them into that unknown. Tell them you trust them and that you're behind them, and watch them go do what they do. And you'll be amazed at how they grow. So you want some more on this? There it is right there. Copy of my book. It's Personal, Not Personnel, Leadership Lessons for the Battlefield and the Boardroom. Sorry to block that church out. Good luck to you on this one. Make the investment in your people. Push them into the deep end of the pool. Feed them to the wolves. Make it personal.